Welcome to the Hustle Wing podcast. Today we are joined by Alejandro Paiuk, the Chief Operating Officer of Private Markets. We're going to chat to him today, get to know him a little bit and the company, and have an all-round good time. So thank you so much for joining us, Alejandro. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Izzy?
I'm great, thank you. So talk to me. What is privatemarkets.io?
PrivateMarkets.io is a platform for investors in the private markets to network with each other and also
hmm
learn about opportunities in the private markets space. The
hmm
genesis for PrivateMarkets.io came from our founder, who has spent 15 years going to various conferences in this
Okay.
space. I myself only went to one, and that was enough for a lifetime. So, these conventions are, you know, if you're an investor at one of these conventions, it feels like you're constantly being harassed by vendors
Mm,
and folks who are looking for money, and it gets a little
yeah,
bit uncomfortable. So
yeah,
we really are building this marketplace for investors or capital allocators in mind, for them to
mm,
safely network with each other without being harassed by vendors and people looking
yeah,
for money, and for them to be able to anonymously look through the opportunities that are listed on the website, and then, if they so choose, selectively reach out to them,
yeah.
and have an experience that is safe, secure, and confidential.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So how do you ensure, the safety, the security, and the confidentiality? Like how do you vet the people and make sure if I wanted to join, how would you know that I'm not an investor?
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, it requires a rigorous KYC process, know your customer.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Unlike other platforms, like any social network, anybody can sign up with an email address. That's not
Yeah.
the way this works. Every single person who tries to sign up is vetted by a human being,
Mm,
and we make sure that we can confirm the identity of each person and that we can confirm that they
okay.
are a qualified or certified investor. This
Okay.
platform is only for very sophisticated investors who have
Yeah.
um, the capital to allocate to hedge funds and private equity funds and
Yeah.
large real estate deals and all sorts of other unique opportunities that exist in the private markets.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, it's great that you take the vetting process out of or you take that seriously and you use a human to make sure that you vet the people because I feel like everybody is advertising security and safety, but they're not actually putting the work in. There's been a couple of sites that I've signed up to and they've been like, "Are you sure you're 18?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm 18." But they don't know.
Yeah,
So it's nice that you make
that's
sure
that,
about that.
that's absolutely right. And um, because our founder has been in this space for 15 years, the
Hmm.
initial people who are being invited, he personally knows them, right? So he's
Okay.
met tens of thousands of family offices and sovereign wealth funds and pension
Wow.
funds and all sorts of allocators.
Yeah.
He knows them personally, so he knows that
Okay.
they deserve to have a place inside of this ecosystem.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. That's really cool. So what is the long-term goal for private markets?
Yeah, the long term goal is, like I said, to have a thriving ecosystem where
Mhm.
the people who are part of it, this is the first place they look, you know, where to try to meet new people, to
Yeah.
network within the space, share information, grab a
Yeah.
virtual coffee, and also the first place where they'll look when they're thinking about how to allocate the capital in their portfolios.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And how long have you guys been running for?
Um, we have been, tossing this idea around for a couple years. I would
Okay.
say that it was really during COVID when the circuit of all of these conferences ground to a halt that we started
Yeah.
saying to ourselves, if all of this moved online and became virtual, that wouldn't necessarily be a
Mhm.
bad thing for the long term.
Yeah.
There's too many of these conferences that force you to fly, all over the world, and
Yeah.
why are we doing it? Let's figure out how to
Mm.
do this online in a more efficient way. Um,
Hmm.
so that was really when the idea was born. Um,
Okay.
the serious development on this has really only been for the past year.
Okay.
And we have a soft launch, like we've soft launched already with a
Hmm.
small group of beta testers.
Hmm.
And after beta testing, we'll be launching it to a larger audience.
Okay. All right. Do you have a date yet or a time frame?
There's no date. The date is when the quality, meets our standards. So,
Yeah.
we just want to make sure that it's a really excellent experience.
Amazing. Amazing. And you mentioned flying around the world. So is this platform not only for US investors, is it for everyone around the world?
That's right. It will be open up to people all over the world. The focus now
Okay.
is on the United States, but of
Yeah.
course, there's investors everywhere these days.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool, cool. So what is your biggest challenge at the moment at private markets?
Um, it's a great question. I mean, I know that the challenges that we have right now are not the challenges that we're going to have in the future.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
right. So I would say our challenge to date has been a little bit around the development of the platform,
Mm,
and some of the developers that we've been working with have not been as fast as we would want, and the quality. I think,
mm,
like I said, I've done software before, and this is just a common issue when you're developing software.
yeah.
And the sometimes the vision that we have as product managers or as the founders of companies,
Mm,
we envision the software being a certain way, and then we hand over the
yeah.
requirements to the developers and the designers, and then what comes back doesn't exactly match what we had in mind.
Same.
And it's an
Yeah.
iterative process until there's a meeting of the minds. Everybody understands really what
Mm,
the requirements are at a very profound level. So
yeah.
we're still working through that, and
Mm,
making sure that the development and the product um, meets our requirements. I
yeah.
think that longer term, the challenge is going to be like any kind of platform that relies on user engagement, which is
Hmm.
to keep users highly engaged. Right? It's
Yeah.
um, again, I've done software before, and you've got one hurdle in getting people to show up to your platform once,
Mm,
because they're maybe curious, or maybe because they're your friend and they promised you they would try it out. But
yeah.
right, but how do you get them to keep coming back because they see the value in it?
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
I'm preparing myself for that challenge because it's inevitable.
Mm,
It's going to happen.
yeah.
And that's really where the rubber meets the road is, and where we're going to,
Yeah.
prove whether this is a viable platform or not.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So what sort of assistance would you need from our community of side hustlers?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that need to occur for this to launch successfully. So
Hmm.
um, we could probably use additional help um, with the development. Probably surge a
Yeah.
little bit on the development to get this across the finish line. Um,
Hmm.
it's possible we might want to change who's on the development team. and
Mm,
that would require some more human resources.
yeah.
Um, I think that as we've been working on this, we've realized that um, we need a really strong design person and a branding
Mm,
person to come in and not just design a logo, but to really um, define what the brand is, what our slogan
yeah.
is, what our color
Yeah.
palette is, um,
Okay.
the tone, everything about the brand and
Mm,
its image and its value proposition.
yeah.
It's a little bit superficial now, if I have to be a little honest, and
Yeah.
it needs to be just very well defined in order for this
Yeah.
to survive for the long term. So I think a good
Mm,
branding and design person would be great. And then more, business development and sales type folks. We need a
mm,
lot more of that to help get more people onto the platform, and then customer success. Like I said,
mm,
um, the real long term success of this platform
yeah.
will be dependent upon the customers being successful. So, we're going to need more of a customer success team to ensure that we
Mm,
understand what the users' needs are and that we're constantly
yeah.
developing and creating new features
Yeah.
that allow them to continue to gain value from this.
Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Alejandro, for explaining private markets to us. I love the concept, and I'm glad that you guys, like, again, you actually do the vetting process because, yeah, anybody could say that they're a private investor. So it's good to make sure that you're actually speaking to the right people. And yeah, we'll definitely be connecting again soon. Can people reach out to you if maybe if they feel comfortable pitching you something different, or collaborating in a different form? Would you be open to that?
I would be. They can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm on there all the time. That's my public profile, and I'm very receptive and open to people connecting with me.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, again, thank you for your time, and we'll be chatting again
Great.
soon.
Thanks, Izzy.
Cheers.
Cheers.